Alex, thank you as always. What's your sense of where the race is at now, a bit over a week from Election Day?
Yeah, Kieran, we're about 10 days out here from Election Day, and what I can say is voters are extremely energized. I mean, what we've seen already, the most recent numbers I've seen are about 56 million Americans have already cast their ballot, either in person or by mail. If this continues to track, there could be upwards of 150 million votes cast during this election. And compared to 2016, when we had 138 million votes cast, that's 12 million additional votes. And that's a significant surge in interest. So I think when you look at states like Texas, like Florida, like Pennsylvania, Texas alone cast 9 million ballots in 2016. And already this year in early voting and in person both and in mail, they've already cast 7 million votes. So they might blow through that by the middle of the next week. Same thing in Florida. Already 5.5 million votes cast. In 2016, 9.5 million altogether. So it's hard to tell what those numbers exactly mean or if they benefit one party or not. But traditionally, if turnout is high, and it looks to be potentially the highest it's been in a percentage of the population since 1908, that's usually good for Democrats.
I want to play you a couple of comments, one from Joe Biden at a rally, a drive-in rally, and one from Donald Trump at one of his normal, regular rallies. Have a look at this and the difference in message when it comes to COVID.
I don't like the idea of all this distance, but it's necessary. I appreciate you being safe. What we don't want to do is become super spreaders. Yesterday, while he's telling us everything's all right, we saw the highest number, 85,000 new cases in one day since this pandemic began. And yesterday, the worst day we've ever had. Yet, at the debate on Thursday night, Donald Trump said and is still saying, we're rounding the corner. It's going away. We're learning how to live with it. What I told him at the debate, we're not learning how to live with it. You're asking us to learn how to die with it. And it's wrong.
It's a choice between a Trump super boom and a Biden lockdown. Did you hear him the other night? It's going to be a cold, dark winter. Very inspiring guy. This is very inspiring. Whoa. I even said, whoa. Whoa. No, we got to have spirit, our country. You know, we're coming back. We're rounding the turn. We're doing great. Our numbers are incredible. But listen to this. They all talk about cases. You don't see death. Cases. You know why we have cases? Because we test so much. And in many ways, it's good. And in many ways, it's foolish.
Alex Tureman, as we know, the president loves the rallies. It gives him a bit of momentum. Will it give his campaign momentum, though? Because it does seem the number of undecideds at this election is down significantly on the last.
Well, I spoke with a senior member, former member of the Trump White House just like yesterday evening. And this race at this point, 10 days out, it's not about persuasion. You're not trying to get swing voters to come your way or not go the other guy's way. At this point, it's about turnout. And what really concerns me for President Trump, because I'm a Democrat myself, is that he's campaigning today in Ohio. In 2016, he won Ohio by 8 points. That's not a good sign. Later next week, he's going to Nebraska, ruby red Nebraska. So these aren't signs of a healthy campaign at this point, 10 days out. But that's not to say that Democrats are taking their foot off the pedal. And as you highlighted in those previous two clips, yes, Joe Biden is taking on coronavirus head on because it is the issue that resonates with the most voters. If you look at what they care about, if you look at what this election season is, it's a referendum on the president, and it's also a referendum on the president's handling of the coronavirus. And the fact of the matter is, earlier this week, President Trump said, you know what, he's another rally. He said he was, everyone's over coronavirus. Everyone's done with it. Well, just this week, in a swing state like Wisconsin, they had 5 of not only the highest coronavirus cases in the entire pandemic, but also some of the deadliest days over the course of it. And this is in the midst of the final stretch of a campaign, a week and a half out, when President Trump has consistently encouraged voters, his base, to vote in person and vote on Election Day. So for a swing state like Wisconsin, where there may be older voters, there may be rural voters with not as as quality health care, it might be a deterrent to go to the polls if the coronavirus is breaking records on a daily basis. But you just saw it today. You saw a president.
I just want to show you and our viewers a couple of those polls to pick up where you left off there on Wisconsin. We've got the numbers for Arizona, Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. These are the latest polling averages. Arizona, Biden leads by 2.4%. Florida, the lead's still there but has been cut to just 1.5%. Michigan, Biden maintaining a strong lead throughout, continues to. Pennsylvania, Biden's lead had been more than 7 points 2 weeks ago, back to 5.1, still outside the margin of error. And Wisconsin, Alex, it's dropped slightly, but Biden's still ahead 4.6%.
Yeah. Well, that's why you see where the campaigns are going. Don't listen to what either of the candidates say about the health of the campaign, but follow where the candidates and their surrogates are going, and follow where they're spending money, frankly. And you saw just today that Vice President Biden pulled down his ads from Colorado because they view that, the campaign views that as them doing very strongly in the state. But you're going to see it over the next few days. The polls are going to tighten. That's what happens in presidential elections. Still, the average of all polls still has Vice President Biden up around 8 points. But yeah, those swing states, specifically Arizona, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida, those are the ones that I'm watching really closely, especially the ones on the East Coast since the time difference. Those polls will be closing earlier. But you just saw it today. President Obama, former President Obama, was down in Miami rallying support. You saw it yesterday in Florida with President Trump going to the Villages, which is traditionally a Republican stronghold. It's a very older area, but as we've noted in previous segments, Vice President Biden has garnered a lot of support among older Americans. And you also saw President Trump go to Pensacola as well, which is right along the Alabama border, and it's on the panhandle of Florida, and that's a very conservative area. So you're going to see the candidates hit those states. You saw Vice President Biden in Pennsylvania. That is one of the crucial states, I think, that we're going to see the candidates hit several times over the next few days. And that's why it confuses me why President Trump's in Ohio and Nebraska next week.